I am currently on the Disney Wonder on an Alaskan cruise with my mom, and we're going to be talking about our cruise so far this week. This is episode 99. I'm Soraya.
I'm Barbara.
And together we're just
your average Disney travelers.
Okay, so we are almost done with our cruise.
Yes.
That's the saddest part. This is when you're coming to the end. But we have had a great week, and so we're going to talk about the fun stuff we've done and the things about the ship we've liked. We are out on our veranda right now.
Enjoying the waves and
Yes.
the cool air, fresh air.
Yes, very nice and cool air and the waves. So if you're going to have some background noise on this one, just pretend you're here on the cruise with us or at the beach and you got some waves going in the background, because I'm sure you hear them. Okay, so let's talk about this. Who is here? Who's on this cruise? It's just you and me. There's not much to talk about.
Just you and me, mom and daughter.
Yep.
Or daughter and mom.
That's true, whichever way you want to look at it. Just the two of us. We abandoned our families and ran away. This was kind of a birthday cruise for you.
A dream of a lifetime.
It's been a bucket list for a long time.
But it may be addicting.
It is addicting. I know. Already you're talking about another one.
If I can save up, you betcha.
Another dream of a lifetime. Yep. Okay, so we are on the Disney Wonder. Went to Alaska. And let's see. So we left on the 5th,
Yes.
September 5th. And we will be returning on the 12th. So it's a 7-night cruise. Really quickly, updating on the COVID requirements, because we had to jump through some more hoops.
We had a few hoops to go to.
And
yes.
they're not going to need to do that very much anymore.
Oh, I hope so.
I think it's as of like the 23rd or something for Wonder Cruises. Each of the cruise line or each of the ships have a slightly different date because of sailings that they will be on and their requirements. But by the end of the month, I believe, I don't think you have to test for COVID before getting on the ships, which is a relief to a lot of people, but then a concern to others.
A concern to others, yes. I know a few people that would make them a little more anxious.
And even though we did have to jump through the hoops, once we were cleared and were able to get on the ship, it was kind of nice knowing that everybody else had to be cleared as well.
Everyone's clean.
Yep.
And the ship is super clean.
Yep. The crew members are all wearing masks. We are not required to wear masks.
No, we're not.
Although we have seen several people who choose to, and then a lot of people who choose not to. And so that will continue, where that is an optional thing for guests. I don't know how long they'll keep the crew members wearing them. I haven't heard that. But anyways, so before our cruise, we went up to Vancouver. It sails out of Vancouver, British Columbia. So
beautiful.
Yes, very beautiful. And we arrived a couple of days early and just enjoyed Vancouver. So we stayed, I'm trying to remember the name of it, Times
Square Suites.
Yes, in downtown
Vancouver.
Really good location as far as being like close to a lot of things you would want to do before the cruise. Very close to one of the most popular attractions or destinations, and that's Stanley Park. Yeah, beautiful, huge park. Also still fairly close to the cruise port. Mm-hmm. It was less than 10 minutes to get there. I think 7 minutes or something.
Yeah, it was pretty convenient.
Really easy. And a lot of stuff within walking distance, which was really nice because it's downtown and driving wasn't necessarily fun.
Little different than what I'm used to.
Yeah. So it was nice that we could easily get to places to eat. There was even a grocery store real close. So that was nice. What was your favorite part of being in Vancouver?
I enjoyed our horse tram in Stanley Park.
That was really fun.
That was really fun.
It was a horse-drawn trolley, yeah. And it did a tour, and it didn't go through the entire park, but it did a nice, what was it, like 90 minutes or so? Or
something
an hour?
like.
I don't remember how long it was. But that was great. So if you're going to Vancouver, going to Stanley Park, we highly recommend that. The gal that narrated and drove, she was really fun, and
she was good.
She was very knowledgeable, gave us a lot of information about the park history, pointed out lots of great things, but also taught us about the horses.
Yes.
And so, yeah, that was fun. I agree. I think that was probably a highlight also. Okay, so we boarded the cruise in Vancouver.
Yay!
Yes, it was such a relief once we tested negative and were able to go because we had to do a
And lug our
proctored.
luggage.
Yeah, so we had to get our luggage. Quick tip: if you're cruising out of Canada Place, which is the port in Vancouver, going on a Disney cruise, take your luggage all down to parking level 2 before you park, because that's where it's going anyways. And then you can go find a parking spot, but we
Wherever
ended up
they tell
having
you.
to lug it ourselves.
Yeah.
And we had a lot, but that's okay. We did it. We made it. It was just something I made a note of to remember for next time. Okay, so we boarded our cruise. We were able to get on pretty early. There was a delay. They had an accident at the port.
They had a little accident at the port when they were loading supplies, I think. One of the gang planks, or whatever you call it, gangways,
Yeah,
fell, and 3 crewmen fell,
yeah,
but they fished them out and they're okay.
yeah.
Just slowed us down a bit.
It did. It took, I think, probably maybe an hour's delay or so to open up the port the terminal where we could get checked in, and then we had to wait until they were ready to bring people on board. Once they did, it didn't take very long. We were one of the earlier ones to get on, which I prefer. Some people really like to go a little later because then there's no line at the terminal and they just breeze on through, walk right on the ship, and they're good to go. I like getting on the ship as early as possible.
And it's fun when you board and they call out your name. I choked up.
I know, every time. It's really awesome. The last time I've cruised with our family in January of this year, they were not doing the Sail Away party, and so we had a private little welcome by Mickey Mouse, and they were only letting in like 8 to 10 groups or so at a time, and he'd welcome us all, and then we'd go on our way. But now they're back to having that Sail Away party, and so they don't have that private welcome anymore. But they welcome you on, they call your name, and everyone applauds and
The
cheers.
crew applauds, other guests applaud.
Yep, and then really quickly they kind of usher you over to where you start your mustering, which is another thing that's different. Really kind of nice, actually.
Safety first.
Yep, and they've made it so much more convenient and easier than they've ever had it before. You just pull up your app. It tells you, you'll have on your Key to the World card, and then also in your app will tell you where your muster station is. You go find it, and then as long as all of the members of your group are there, you just take a photo using the app of the station number, or letter, I guess, and it checks and recognizes that you know where to go.
In case of emergency.
Yep, in case of emergency. And then later on, at some point, they did a kind of a safety reading where they just asked everyone to stay still and listen to what was being said over the speakers. I believe it played in the staterooms. We were not in a stateroom at the time.
No.
But you could hear it on the sound system.
You could hear it everywhere, I think.
Yeah, pretty much. And then that was it. No going to a big crowded place and listening for a half hour for
Or taking a lot of time.
Yeah, super easy, super quick. So that was great. We, of course, I think we got lunch.
I think we
Pretty
did
quickly.
have lunch pretty quickly.
One of the tips, especially on Barcation Day, is to, when you're going to do that, because pretty much everyone, that's their plan, I think, go up to Cabanas.
It did seem to be a popular thought.
You find your table before you start getting your food. They said go get your table first and then go get your food, because a lot of people were having troubles finding a table after they had all their food. But another tip on that is, as long as, well, even if the weather's not so good, outside on deck 9 on the Wonder, there's tables all along, like where the pool decks are, and they have the windows that you can see
And
out.
near the pool, it's pretty sheltered.
Yeah, so you're sheltered from the wind, you're sheltered from any rain if that's happening, and so you don't have to eat right in cabanas. You can take it anywhere, really. You could go upstairs. There are a couple, not very many, but a few tables up on deck 10 aft that you could do, but yeah, lots of options pretty close. But anyways, yeah, so we did that. I'm trying to remember, what else did we do before we sailed? We looked around a lot.
We
took
did
some
just look
photos.
around.
At 1:30, I remember almost exactly, we went and they were pretty prompt at getting the rooms opened to us. And even right away, we had our luggage came in like clumps. So we had like 1 or 2 pieces, and then a little bit later, another piece or 2 would show up. So we were able to kind of start getting that together right away.
And I think it was sometime that afternoon that we did our first little gift.
Yes, so we chose to do fish extender exchanges. And so, do you want to talk about that at all? Like what it was, or like what is fish extending?
Fish extending, well, there, outside of every stateroom is a fish
Yeah.
that the crew can use to leave notes and stuff. And if you choose to do so, you can hang some kind of receptacle, a bag, a
Yeah.
pocket, some cute things. And if you choose to do so, you can join Fish Extender Group. That's something you have to do before your cruise.
If you want to do it as an
If you want to
actual
do it
organized,
officially,
yeah.
yes, with soon after you get your book your passage, you go onto Facebook, you find your ship's group, and usually there'll be people gathering who want to do a fish extender, and some nice person organizes it and assigns you a number of people that you or cabins
Yeah.
that you can exchange with as you wish.
Yep, it's super fairly simple and basic, where there's really not a whole lot of rules as far as how much to spend or little to spend, or how to give a gift, whether you want to give a group gift to each cabin, or if you want to do individual gifts to each person, or a mix of both, or however you want to do. It's totally up to you. The only rule is if you sign up to please deliver a gift,
Do something.
do something for each cabin at some point during the cruise, and they will do the same back, and it's really
Yeah.
fun.
So we had several gifts, mostly small,
Yeah.
so that we could go around almost every day.
Yeah, so a lot of people probably really just do one delivery a week.
Mhm.
I love to try to do it several times a week.
It's fun.
Just because it's more fun. And so I usually do have smaller gifts so I could break it up and have, even if one day all it is stickers or something like that. But
It's fun to come back to your cabin and see that someone's been by and left some little surprise.
I think especially for the kids, but even for the kids at heart.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Because it's even fun for us to walk up to our cabin and see something in the pockets and be like, oh, we got something else. And so, yeah, we did our first one that day. And between the two of us, because we both were contributing, we pretty much had something to deliver pretty much every day.
Yeah.
It was, I think there was one day that only the cabins that had kids got something, but
Yes.
still, we went out every day, and almost every day our groups got something from us. Like I said, nothing super fancy, but it was fun.
Yeah.
And so they seemed to have enjoyed it. We had a few find us and thank us for some of the items that they really especially liked. But yeah, that was fun. So yeah, we did that, and then I
What
think
else
the
did we
cruise
do?
started. I mean, I don't. We didn't. We did go up. We did go up when we were sailing away, because I really like sailing out of Vancouver, going under the Lions Gate Bridge. I think that's what it's called. And that's when the Wonder will sound her horn, and it's just really fun. But yeah, then the cruise began, and it has been.
Let the magic begin.
Yeah, it's been great. All right, so let's talk about some of the ports we went to. Do you remember?
Yeah, I'm trying.
So we started.
Well, first we didn't go to the port. First was the
Yeah.
glacier.
Yes, and we had a special treat. And it's funny because as we were looking to this cruise, every day seemed like it was going to be cold and rainy, to be honest. It looks pretty dismal forecast everywhere for the dates we'd be at different locations. And so I was expecting pretty much every day to have rain.
It is Alaska.
It is Alaska, yeah, and it does get a lot of rain. And the glacier days, when we went before, we had beautiful weather all week, but that day was freezing, because when you go in, you're in like
By a
icebergs
glacier.
and glaciers, yeah. And so it was really cold, and I was expecting it to be just really, really cold, and it was cold, but not as cold as I expected. But also the weather was clear enough that they actually had the option of which arm to go down.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how often it happens anymore. I don't think it happens very often, but we were able to go down the Tracy arm instead of the Endicott arm, which Endicott arm is what my family did 3 years ago. And it was great, but they say that the Tracy arm is even more beautiful. And to be honest, it's all so gorgeous. It's hard for me to even think, that one is more beautiful than the other. But we did go down there and saw the Sawyer's Glacier. And it was huge and impressive.
Yes. And all those ice floes and the little dark dots on the ice.
And we didn't realize at first
were harbor seals, not harbor seals.
Yeah, they were seals.
The seals. I don't remember what kind of seals they were.
Harbor seals. I don't know, but and you know who? Do you remember how we found out? It was Pluto's handler.
Oh,
Who was talking to kids next to us and said, "Did you see the seals?"
Seals?
And they're like, "Seals?" And he goes, "Yeah, out there on the ice." And so I pulled out my camera and I really zoomed in on it, and sure enough, there were
then you could tell they were seals.
And we had heard the other people talking, and his family kept telling him, "No, that's wood. That can't be seals." And so I just didn't even think to check, and now I'm kicking myself that we didn't check earlier.
Of course, if you looked there were no trees.
No,
close to
where
the
would the wood
glacier
come from?
or close to where the ice floes were.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know
Didn't
where the
make
wood would have
sense.
come
Yeah.
from.
But
The seals we could figure out.
Yeah. So we did. We saw seals that day. We also saw whales as we were going. Not when you're in the arm so much, but as we approached it, we saw a lot of whales from the ship, humpback whales. And anyways, but Glacier Day was super fun. It was a little cool, but it was so fun. It's so pretty.
Hot chocolate.
Lots of hot chocolate. Love that the hot chocolate flows plentifully here, and it's all free. Thank goodness. Yeah. And so that was our first kind of, you could say, port day, but it's not a port. Our
Destination?
First destination day, yeah. All right, and then our next day, do you remember where we were at?
Skagway?
Yeah, Skagway.
Skagway.
What did we do in Skagway?
We took the White Pass Yukon Summit Railroad or something like that.
Something like that.
I know it was White Pass.
Yeah, White Pass something. But
beautiful, stunning scenery.
Yeah, it was really, really pretty. We did have good weather. It did rain a little bit, but being in the train, it didn't affect us.
No, it didn't affect the visibility very much.
No, it didn't. Like every now and then, you get a little sprinkle on the window, but I could see from between the cars that it was raining quite a bit, but it did not affect our visibility.
No.
And so that was really nice. We had a car that had a little heater in the back, so it was comfortable to be in, and that was fun. I had not done that before. It was very nice. I do question about how much, like the cost and benefit ratio, but it was still really good. And I think the biggest thing for that was that it didn't feel very personable.
That's the thing. On any of these expeditions, no matter how spectacular it is, the tour guide makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
And if they're excited, if they're passionate,
Yeah.
if they're personal, if it's personal to them, then
it grabs you.
it does. It
Yeah.
captures your heart.
And that one didn't. Everything else we've done had excellent narrators or guides or whatever you're gonna call them. This one, I'm sure maybe she does love the area, but she was literally reading from a script, and you could tell.
And not doing very well.
No, she stumbled over a bit of it.
But so, and it would have been nice if you'd had a personal guide like some of the others had, where they would say, as we're passing this, let me tell you about.
Yeah.
And they would tell maybe about the trees that grow there, or
Right.
how the rocks are, or what
Yeah.
animals might live there, none of which we saw.
Yeah. That's
That
true.
was another thing with the train ride. We didn't see.
We really didn't see
We
any
didn't see
wildlife. And I don't know if I really expected to or not, but it was also one of those things where you just go up and you stay on, it turns around and goes back. You never get off. And
Yeah,
so
there
it's
was
really
no
just
climax.
Yeah. And so, I mean, it was beautiful, and if you want to, just go ahead and take a train ride in and see. I mean, it's beautiful, and I think that there were probably multiple ones to choose from, but the one we had, we're not sad that we went on it, but I don't know that I would do that one again.
No, I
So-
would consider another one,
Yeah.
but maybe a little more homework.
Yeah.
I don't know.
A little more research first. I don't
But
know.
it was gorgeous.
Yeah,
it was so beautiful.
It was, and it was fun. We did have a good time, so that was good. Then, and we didn't. I did a little bit of shopping. You went back to the ship after. I did a very little bit of shopping, not for very long. That's a cute little town. Didn't spend too much time in it though. Went back to the ship. The next day,
Juneau.
Juneau.
We don't talk about Juneau.
Except that we will talk about Juneau, because I think that was both of our favorite.
Juneau was a great day.
Yeah.
We went on, I don't remember the name of it, Allen Marina whale watching. We went on a whale watching
Yep.
tour, ship.
Yep. Yeah, it was a whale watching and wildlife quest, or no, maybe that was the next one. Oh man, I should have looked them all up before we did this. But yeah, it was a whale watching and wildlife something.
No, it was like whale watching and scenic.
Something
We
like
didn't
that.
see any other wildlife, I don't think. We
Um,
did great on whales.
Yes,
And the tour guide was passionate
yes,
about the whole thing,
yeah,
about the seeing the whales, about living in Alaska,
yep,
and appreciating people who came
yeah, for
as
sure.
guests
After
to
2 years
Alaska.
of no tourists, yeah, yeah, it was really fun. We saw a lot of humpback whales on that one. Um, and you're right. We did see some sea lions.
Yes, we did.
And
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. I thought I had seen an eagle. I thought that we saw an eagle there, but maybe it
Might
was.
have.
Yeah, but it was like one. But anyway, so it was a good tour. The crew was fantastic. We booked all of our excursions. We booked through Disney. So
We did.
and I know that's an option. Some people choose to go a different route. For us, it worked for us to do it this way.
One nice thing about booking with Disney is if your tour comes back late, the ship will wait for you.
Yes.
But if you book outside of Disney, they say, see you next week.
Yeah, when they come back next week. And there's only so many. So, like, next week, it'll be like, see you next year.
Or they'll say, if you miss us, we'll miss you.
Yeah. Yep. So, yeah, Juneau was great. We didn't really do anything other than that. It was kind of a little bit later in the morning start. Or actually even, was it 12 or 11? 11.
It was a
11
little bit of a late morning start.
And the ship leaves a little earlier from Juneau. I think it was like 4:45.
Yes,
so
it was.
We really didn't have a lot of time to
No.
do shopping.
So we missed out on doing the tram,
We wanted to
which
do
would have been
tram.
fun, but we
Yeah.
didn't plan our timing right.
Which
The
is-
tram started at the same time as our other tour, and
Yeah.
it was no question.
Yeah, no, we wanted to do the whales, and we're so glad we did. It was so fantastic. Next day, which was
Saskatchewan.
not Saskatchewan.
No.
Ketchikan.
Catch a can, catch a can, catch a can, catch a can.
Wrong country.
Wrong country. It
But yes, Ketchikan, and that was also great.
was really good.
So
It was.
so-
They too were passionate about what
Yes.
they did.
excellent crew again. Very friendly, very knowledgeable, very eager to share and to assist us with anything and point out things. This particular one. All right, what was the name of this
It
one?
was by the sea wildlife something.
Yeah, and it was actually, when you get there, it's a lighthouse excursion is the name of
Sort
the
of,
place
yeah.
when you're there.
Yeah.
And they take you to a lighthouse, but along the way, you see a variety of animals, and they can't guarantee really any of them except that they go through
They guaranteed the eagles.
eagles. Yeah, they go through a lot of eagle nesting areas. And so we did. We saw several
We
eagles.
saw beautiful
All
eagles. We saw eagle nests.
Yep. And learned that the eagles here are about twice the size as the ones in the States, which I didn't know that.
I did not know that either.
Yeah, so that was cool. We happened to get lucky. They don't guarantee what wildlife they'll see, but we saw some more whales.
We saw whales fairly close up.
And I got super lucky because I actually saw humpback whales breaching, which I've never seen before. And I'm still just elated and blown away at that. That
was a highlight.
It was, and I don't have it on video or photos because I was actually looking through the binoculars. And oh my gosh, I can see it in my mind, and it was so amazing. And
I missed it.
That was the whole crew, that whole little
That made it
safari
for
that
you.
made it completely. Yeah, but that was incredible. We again had gorgeous weather. Juneau had great weather. Even like I said, even for
We've had good weather. I mean,
All
even
of
when it
them.
was overcast and when we had rainy days, it wasn't terribly stormy and not at an inconvenient time.
No, it never interfered with our excursion. But Skagway, or not Skagway, Ketchikan was so sunny and beautiful, and that was uncommon for there. So really, really lucky there. So those were the ports we went to, the excursions we went on. They were all fun. So we've done a lot of fun stuff on board as well. What is some of the favorite things that you've done? Because we've done a lot.
We've done a lot. I enjoyed the napkin folding class and the towel folding class. even though I wasn't very good at it. You were very good.
It was good, except that the towel folding, especially, I was on the floor, but I wasn't on carpet, and so it was kind of they would
Slippery.
slide away, and so the poor little towel animals, they'd start doing the splits, and they just didn't look the same.
Well, I was afraid to get on the floor because I thought I'd still be there. Now I'd never get up. So I was folding on this smallish
Tiny
round table trying to adapt. But I still kind of got the idea.
Yeah.
I think that we'll be able to practice some
Well,
more.
especially since they did send us home with some cheat sheets for some of the animals that they had and some others that they didn't. And that was a lot of fun. To be
That was
honest,
great.
all the times that I have cruised, I don't think I've ever noticed that on the itineraries of the options of activities. And so I don't know if that they didn't have it the times I did cruise, or
Right.
I just totally missed it. But I am so glad we did it because I've never done that before. Either one of those, the napkin folding or the towel folding.
I enjoyed the character dance party
Yeah.
that they had a few days ago.
Yeah.
That was fun, where the characters actually danced with the
Kids.
guests,
Yeah.
adults and kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was fun. And today's Jack Jack Baby Race was pretty funny.
It was hilarious. I've never watched that before either. I've heard of it before, but I hadn't done it. The diaper dash.
The diaper dash, yes.
Yeah.
That
Like,
was
they had
great.
Crawling babies racing, and then sometimes they'd pull out adults and let them race, but they had to race like babies.
They had to crawl.
Yep. So it was a lot of fun.
Random character sightings.
Yep. Yep. And just, there's just, well, first of all, like right now we have a veranda in our room, and so even just having a place to come and to watch the waves and any wildlife, and the inland passage for Alaska is so beautiful because so often you'll have land on both sides of you, so you always have some beautiful scenery to look at, and so it's been great. Also,
I was going to say the evening shows were good
that's
too.
exactly where I was going next.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're right on. The nighttime entertainment has been fantastic. We didn't go to everything. We didn't go to the Golden Mickeys, which I kind of feel kicking myself a little bit.
That's right. We watched it on TV in our room.
We watched on TV in our room, which is always an option. But just so you know, when that happens, it's a pre-recorded. It's not live. It's not
I was
streamed.
so tired.
Yeah, I know. You were tired, and I guess I was tired too. I could have gone by myself, and I didn't. And almost immediately, I kind of regretted it because I do like watching the shows. But anyways, we saw everything else. Well, I went to the Magician. You didn't. But
No, that's
everything
right.
else we've done together.
But the
so
shows
far.
are good. They're worth taking a nap for or something if
Taking
you
a
can.
nap earlier in the day so you can then stay up to watch the shows.
I particularly liked the Frozen show, which was interesting because I'm not a huge Frozen fan.
Yeah,
But I really enjoyed the
it.
Frozen show. And the ventriloquist, now I can't say it.
Ventriloquist.
She was very good. That was
funny.
fun.
Yeah, she was kind of a comedian and slash ventriloquist. Same with the Magician. He was kind of a comedian slash magician. But yeah, lots of great entertainment. They don't have a pirate night on the Alaska cruises, but they did have a freezing the night away party, which we didn't
We
go
didn't
to
go
deck.
to that.
My family did last time for part of it. We didn't stay for all of it. First of all, it's kind of cold.
Aptly named.
Yeah, but also those shows. For me personally, I feel like the kids get the most out of it. I mean, you could be a kid at heart and really enjoy it, but to me, they're not my favorite part. I don't dislike them. They're not always worth it for me.
You usually have the characters perform and everybody gets to dance. And
Yeah, and they're fun. But yeah. All right, so let's talk about our the dining room experiences. So first of all, Disney, everyone knows, has the rotational dining where you have 3 main dining rooms and you and your servers rotate between them so you can experience them all, but you still get that excellent service of having
personal
servers that know
service.
you. Yeah. And you get to know them really well, especially on a 7-night cruise. If it's only a couple nights, then that's going to be really hard. But once you get past, hit the 4-night or longer cruises, they really get to know you. They know what you like. They'll know what drinks to bring to the table because you've ordered it every night so far. And so that's always fun. We have great servers this cruise.
We did have great service, but I strongly suspect most of the servers here are great.
Well, I think that most of them are great, but I will be honest in that all the cruises we've had, these are probably 2 of my favorite. These servers are probably my favorite. they're just so fun and sweet and good, and like we watch them with we aren't being seated with other groups, which I was expecting that we would, because I thought that was back already, and for some reason we were not. We were at a small table, just the two of us, but we're very close, like less than a
Inches
foot.
away.
Yeah, less than a foot away from the next table, which is a young family that we have absolutely loved.
They were
visiting
very
every
friendly,
night.
lovely people.
Yeah, and they've got a little boy, Simon. He's 4 years old, and so seeing the servers interact with him, it's just so cute and so fun, and we've had just a great time.
Well, I've only been on one other as cruise, and it was only, what, 2 nights?
Yeah, that
3
was a
nights?
short one. It was 2
But
nights.
we loved our servers then, too. So that's my only experience, is great servers.
We did really like the servers on that one. I don't even remember their names now. I forget.
I don't remember their names, but I remember we really
we
liked
did
them.
really like them. I still think Maddie and Swaina are my
But
favorite.
Swaina is evil.
Swaina is evil. He keeps giving us these awful puzzles to figure out every night around dessert time. And I am usually pretty good with puzzles. I like puzzles a lot, and most of them I have not gotten. And I want to blame being exhausted and stuffed and all of that, but I'm afraid I don't
Because
know.
when he finally shows us the answer, it's
so
like,
simple.
oh my goodness.
Yeah. I've gotten a couple of his, but yeah, he's had some really good ones for us. But that's been fun. We have on board here, so Tiana's Place, Triton's, and then of course your
Animator's
favorite.
Palette,
Yeah,
yes.
Animator's Palette.
That's my favorite.
And those are just all great. They are all great restaurants. They're all a little different with their styling and everything, but yeah, lots of fun. How about other food on board? Mostly we've eaten at Cabanas.
We've eaten at Cabanas. We've enjoyed the soft serve ice cream
a
lot.
Especially checking out what the flavor of the day is.
And the drinks bar for soft drinks, water, and hot chocolate.
Yep, so the self-serve beverages, and they've got hot chocolate, they've got coffee and
tea, maybe?
tea
I'm
probably,
not
and
sure.
milk and soft drinks, and then of course in Cabanas you can get juices as well.
Mm-hmm.
So during breakfast or lunch, that's available. But yeah, I today finally had a bowl from Daisy's Delights, which is one of the pool deck restaurants. It's not really a restaurant; it's like a quick service counter, and that was good. They have salads and wraps and sandwiches, but they also have like this side, and I don't even know what you would call this, but they had like 2 or 3 different rice types, and then some not soups necessarily, but kind of soupy-ish type of foods. And then they had a bunch of toppings, and so you'd pick what you wanted your base, and then they put a little bit of the soup or whatever it is, and then whatever toppings you wanted on top, and that was really good. I really actually liked it a lot, and think I should have had that more often than Cabanas, because I overate at Cabanas way too many times this week. But okay, we've talked about fish extenders already, but what about pixie dusting?
Oh, pixie dusting. Pixie dusting is for if people just feel like randomly giving gifts, or they wanted to get in a fish extender group, but they didn't sign up in time before the group closed. And I always thought pixie dusting was a little more random than it was this time, because this time we had a list of people who said, yes, please, we'd like to be pixie dusted. In fact, we were on that list too.
Yeah. Well, most of the, I think that most of the cruises I've been on that have, as they organize the fish extenders, a lot of times we end up with a pixie dust list too, because usually as the fish extender lists are closing, or groups are closing, there are some people that are still being added to the cruise last minute.
Right.
Or they found the page on Facebook last minute, even if they've been booked on the cruise for many months. And so there's often a lot of people that are like, oh, we missed it. And so a lot of people say, well, tell us your room number and how many kids you have, and we'll make sure to bring a little gift to them. And it's nothing fancy. Usually the pixie dust is even smaller than fish extenders. Mm-hmm. And so that might be just stickers and magnets and candies and things. But it's still really fun.
It is fun.
To just kind of spread some of that pixie dust. And so we've done that. And then we also have received pixie dust.
Yes, we did.
Some of them, it came with little notes thanking us for the pixie dust we gave them. And then they were returning the favor. And some, I don't know, maybe just randomly.
Randomly? I don't know.
So, anyways, do you have a favorite thing that we've received from Fish Extender or Pixie Dusting this week?
I was really happy to get my water bottle or water glass, what do you call it?
Like a tumbler.
And a nice throw blanket.
Yeah.
Those were big gifts. They surprised me. I didn't expect such big gifts.
Well, the blanket, especially since they're large, they weren't
Yes,
small
large,
throw
yeah.
blankets. They were like really big blankets and nice and fluffy.
Yes.
Very warm and comfy for Alaska.
We got cute magnets.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them, a lot of them homemade.
Yeah.
That were fun.
Yep. And I think for me it was especially fun that one day I started reading my book and I realized, I didn't bring a bookmark. I need a bookmark. And literally that day we got a gift left in our pocket and there were bookmarks. And I was like, oh my gosh,
Perfect.
it's like they heard that. They heard that. Yeah, and so it was perfect and I totally used it. I put it right there in the book right then. So yeah. How about favorite towel animal? So now we talked about we went to the towel folding class, but they do that because the stateroom attendants, whoever it is that's waiting on your room, will every night leave a towel animal on your bed. So do you have a favorite?
I really liked the bullfrog.
Oh, did you?
I did. I liked
Just
him a
super
lot.
Cute.
Yeah.
My favorite, you would think that because my husband, I always say,
The
is
big
my
blue
big
frog.
blue frog. But my favorite was the sea turtle last night.
The sea turtle was cute. Yeah.
I had never gotten the sea turtle before.
Oh, really?
So I was I love that. That was really fun. They do a lot of fun stuff. And now that we've taken the class, we can do them too. I'm like, when we have company, I'm going to have to try to remember to do these things.
I was going to say, don't tell my guys to expect this when they get up.
The family that's home, yeah. Okay, just a few other little things. So we had a couple of concerns in our room, nothing major, totally minor, but one of the things we noticed is their quick response time.
Oh my goodness, yes. We call them and we'd think eventually they'll come and check it out. And it wouldn't be 5 minutes before there was a knock on the door.
And then multiple follow-ups where, how is that working for you now?
Is everything okay
Yeah.
now? Are
Yeah.
you comfortable?
They called on the phone to check. They would come by the room to check. Every time we see our attendant.
I think
he's
I got
like,
text notifications.
Yeah, so they are so attentive to making sure that whatever you need. So make sure that if you run into anything, if you have questions about something or a concern or something's not working exactly right, let them know, and they can help fix it up right away. And yeah, they're really nice about it.
It's really good.
We talked about the weather. We've had such great weather considering we thought it was going to be raining the whole time.
Didn't have to use all our layers.
I know.
But bring them anyway.
Yes, bring them anyways. Well, partly because a lot of people get cooler than you do. You can handle the cold more than a lot of people. But even I mean, it was.
Didn't need my rain poncho.
Yeah, we didn't need the ponchos ever. We didn't use the umbrellas ever because, like I said, even though it did rain, in fact, I think it's raining right now. It's not affecting us right now, or hasn't this whole trip, because it's never been at a time where we were
outside
wanting to be outside. So we got really fortunate with that, and it's all been beautiful. Shopping.
Danger.
Here's the thing. You have to underpack so that you have room to take home all the stuff you want to buy. I mean, I was packed to the gills getting here, and now I'm having to bring home an extra bag more than I brought because I just bought. It's just too easy.
No self-control whatsoever.
No. It's so fun. So here's another tip. If you have a Disney Visa, even if you plan to use your gift cards to do your shopping, well, first of all, you'll need to load those on. So as you arrive on the ship at some point, you want to go to guest services and load those gift cards, but also show them your Disney Visa card, and whether or not you put it on your account, show that you have it so that they can make a note on your account that you have one. And when you have that Disney Visa card and you're making a purchase that's over $50, you will get 10% off. And it gets
in the
charged
Disney shops.
In the Disney shops, yes, on the ship. And it'll get charged to your stateroom, but if you've got the gift cards on the stateroom to cover it, then you're still paying with your gift cards, but you're getting the 10% discount because of the Disney Visa. So that's super convenient. Nice little savings there, which, I mean, every little bit helps.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say no to getting a little bit of savings. But yeah, so the ships here, the shopping, one thing I didn't know, and I've never paid attention, I know that sometimes they were open, sometimes they were closed, and I didn't know why. But we heard here this cruise was that they have like agreements with the local towns that they cannot have the shops open when they're within 12 miles of port.
Oh, that much?
I think that's what they said.
I knew it couldn't be when we were in port. I didn't realize it
Yeah,
was.
so whenever you're in port, when you first board the ship, and then when you go into ports, the shops will be closed until they've reached a certain point, and then they'll reopen again, and you can shop. But to help,
So you can shop local.
yeah, shop local is what they're helping to encourage, which we also did that.
We did a little bit
because
of that.
Ketchikan, I think we forgot to mention, we did go and do a bit of shopping in Ketchikan after
A little bit.
after our excursion there. Just feeding more addictions. But anyways,
You can just window shop too, but it's not easy.
it's really hard to window shop. Okay, tips. Do you have any tips for, let's see, some of them we have already covered. We said dress in layers. I would also say bring scrunchies because if
Windy.
you have long hair, yeah, it's very windy. So pulling it back, even if it's not
Fashion.
not your preferred hair.
If not for fashion, just to keep the hair out of
Just
your
to get-
face and
yep.
from getting really tangled.
Yep. At least on the special windy days. I would also say pace yourself, especially with the food. It's so easy to overeat. It's buffets after buffets, and then this multi-course meals for dinner. And so pace yourself. Don't overeat.
Don't make yourself sick.
Yeah, I put on here, bring a book and a bookmark, because we just talked about that.
That
The
was my
bookmark.
one disappointment.
You forgot to bring a book.
No, well, I didn't forget. My luggage was so packed I couldn't figure out how to get one in. But
You wish you had.
a company that features Belle
Yeah, you should.
has no library.
Oh.
She would be so disappointed.
Oh, I don't know.
I think they need a library.
I think that would be cool. You can put it on a comment card to find a library on the ships.
So
That
that's
would be
one
cool.
thing wrong with the ship. No ship's library.
No library. So bring a book if you want to read, and bring a bookmark, because I can't promise that your fish extender will end up with a
Comes
bookmark.
through at the magic moment.
Yeah. We said don't be afraid to ask if you run into anything that you need or want or are concerned about.
Curious or
Yeah.
whatever.
The crew members are super happy to share information and to be helpful, and so if they can, they will help.
Helpful cruise information, and ask them about themselves.
Yeah,
And it's so delightful.
so many. Most of the crew is from all over the world. Both of our servers are from Indonesia. I can't remember, where's our stateroom host from? Did you notice?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either, but as I've seen people helping me at the guest services or different places, you see Portugal, you see all over the world. And so you can ask people, ask them about home. I like to do that, especially with our servers, because we do spend so much time with them to find out what they miss about home. Both of our servers in a relatively short amount of time are going to get to go back home for a visit, and one of them has been telling us about his mother's cooking. And
Yes.
it's so sweet. So yeah, it's fun to get to know them. Okay, here's a tip. If you're going to Alaska, my recommendation is to choose a room that's portside. Because at the Glacier Day, I feel the portside had a little bit of and we do have a portside room, I'll mention.
It's beautiful.
And it's been great. I feel like our views have been a bit nicer, in my personal opinion, than the starboard side for docking in ports, as well as when we were watching the glaciers. So I would just say that. Now, if you're going on the Caribbean cruise or in the Bahamas, you might want starboard side, because I believe that's the side that has the view of Castaway Cay. So if you're visiting Castaway Cay with Disney, that might be your preference. But Alaska, port side.
Well, that's true, but there's hardly a bad view anywhere.
There's not
that
a
you
bad
have a view
view.
at all.
That's true, and it's also preferential. Some people would like to look at the town, and some people would like to look at the ocean or whatever. It's like you're going to have a variety of preferences. My preference would be that. So bring good walking shoes, because you do a lot of walking still.
Yes.
Even if you're not going around delivering fish extender and pixie dust every day, but you still do a lot of walking. The ships are large, even the small ones, and so you get a lot of opportunity to walk and some opportunities to stand and wait at times. And so just like in the parks, bring your best walking shoes. Even if you want to wear the cute sandals and stuff for dinner, well, that's fine. But when you're walking around all day, have some comfy shoes. And then another tip would be to arrive just a few minutes early to all of the activities you want to do.
Almost anything.
Yeah, I would say maybe even 15 minutes early is a good spot. If you really want to be like first into the theater, then you're going to probably want it like 20 or 30 minutes early for the shows at night. But otherwise, I'd say probably a good 15 minutes early for whatever you're doing. Maybe 10 minutes early for things like the napkin folding and stuff, because that's not as maybe
Yeah, there
not
wasn't
as,
a big line or anything.
yeah. But still, get there a few minutes early so you can get a good seat, get comfortable and ready before your activity starts. And plus, if you are a little early, and sometimes it gives you an opportunity to talk to the crew members as you're waiting.
Or the other guests.
Or other guests, yeah. Yeah.
We've had some nice chats with different guests
Yep.
as we were waiting for something or
Yep.
just relaxing.
Yep, absolutely. So, anyway, so we've had a really great time. Tomorrow we come back into Vancouver and we have to get off the ship. And I know somebody who's really happy because she's getting on the ship tomorrow and she wants us to get off so she can get on. But we're going to be a little sad. I will admit, when I come without my family, I miss them. I miss Aurora. I miss Ryan especially. And I keep thinking of the next time we come, hopefully it will be with all of my family, with both of my children and their families. And so I'm looking forward to that in the future. But it's still kind of hard to take those steps off the ship and to say goodbye to the wait staff that has been making my bed and leaving me chocolates.
We have been so
bringing
pampered.
me meals and cleaning up after me.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, yes. I mean, in hotels on land now, you might get not room service, hotel, what do you call it? Maid service.
Yeah.
You might get maid service every 3 days. And where
Yeah,
we
I know.
stayed in Vancouver,
It was
you had
once
to
a
be
week.
there a week.
Yeah.
But here, it's multiple times a
times a
day.
day.
You
Yeah.
get up in the morning and they come in and make your bed and clean your room
Yeah.
and everything is all fresh. And then before,
Yeah, when
when
they'll
you
bring
come,
stuff to prepare you for dinner, but then they'll turn it while you're at dinner. They'll turn it down.
they'll
And,
turn your bed
Yep.
down, or if you're
Leave you
using one of the
chocolates.
bunk beds or
Yeah,
something,
set it all up.
they get it out. And once again, if there's anything amiss, they straighten it up.
Yep.
This does not happen at home.
No, it does not. So as we wrap up, we heard some exciting news today, actually, and I don't know what day. I've heard rumors for a little bit, but I heard today. I said, "Is this official information that Disney Cruise Line has announced?" And they said yes. So we have learned that soon. I don't know when because they didn't say the dates, but the Disney Wonder, which we are on right now and is doing Alaska sailings at the moment, is going to be going to Australia, which I don't.
Without us.
Without us, yeah. They're not going right now. They're not taking us there at the moment. But yeah, and that is exciting. I also heard that the next new ship, because we just had the Wish that came out this summer, that is now carrying people all over the Caribbean, or Bahamas actually. The next new ship is going to be called the Disney Treasure. So that will be the 6th Disney cruise ship. So that's pretty exciting. And I'm sure there was more announced, but those were the two things that I was like, wait, whoa. I'm excited for the Wonder to go to Australia. I'm excited for Disney Cruise Line to go to Australia. I'm going to be sad if the Wonder is primarily down there and no longer doing Alaska, just because I feel like the Wonder is a little bit kind of like my home ship. You know, I've sailed on her the most out of all of this was my 6th cruise, and 4 of them have been the Wonder. And I'm going to miss the Wonder if she's not the one that does the West Coast anymore. But I believe that'll be the Magic, and the Magic is very much like the
It's
Wonder.
their sister ship.
Yep, and so I think that I will adjust just fine. We were on the Magic earlier this year, in fact, and it was nice. But I just love the Wonder, so yeah, if you get a chance to sail on the Wonder, sail on her. But really, honestly, any of the Disney cruises are great. Well, thank you for going on this cruise so I had an excuse to go with you. And thank you for coming on my podcast and talking about our fun week, our time in Alaska, checking off that bucket list, which I think so many people have. So it was a bucket list of mine, and we got to do it, and I was so glad. But I was so happy to get to do it again, and I look forward to doing it even another time, hopefully in the future. So
Thank
yeah.
you. It has been wonderful. It's
Yeah.
been wonderful on the cruise, wonderful with you and fun doing the broadcast.
Yeah, so awesome. Thanks for tuning in, and we will talk with y'all next week.